1, 2.
Perfect timing. It's 7 o'clock. It's February 5th, 2024, and this is a regular meeting of Moscow City Council. Drew Davis.
Will you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Drew. Next item up is the consent agenda, and this consists of items that have been previously considered by either the Administrative or the Public Works and Finance Committee and passed on to the full City Council. Any item can be removed by any member of the council for separate consideration, and they consist mostly of routine or non-controversial items.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, Haley,
Aye.
Drew,
Aye.
Sandra,
Aye.
Gina,
Aye.
Julia,
Aye.
Bryce.
Aye.
Okay, consent agenda goes. That was 2 full pages of the agenda.
And that brings us to the end of our.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for coming.
Okay, regular agenda takes us to public comment and the mayor's response period. And for the next 15 minutes, divvied up into 3-minute increments, we invite the public to come up to the podium, announce your name, address, and tell us what's on your mind, as long as it's not dealing with tonight's agenda nor items pending before Planning and Zoning or the Board of Adjustment. Takers, please come up to the podium. Name and address, please.
Thank you. I'm Dave Barber. I live at 3693 Highway 95, a couple of miles south. Is this on?
Think so. You're just quiet.
Okay.
No worries.
I'm here for Moscow Sister City Association, and I want to start by thanking all of you for supporting us, excuse me, for the last 35 years or so. And I want to introduce to you our guest for this first half of the year from our sister city, El Carmen in Nicaragua. Her name is Helen. It's Haley with an N. And she's been here for a little bit over 2 weeks. She came in when the temperature was 3 degrees and has gotten more or less used to the temperatures around here. But anyway, she has 3 goals in Moscow, basically. She wants to, and this is really the most important as far as Sister City is concerned, get to know the people of the community. And she has made quite a start doing that already. She wants to perfect her English, which is on its way. And she wants to study American methods of teaching and learning, especially language. She's a teacher. She's an elementary school teacher. And so far, she has been set up very nicely by the College of Education to informally take 3 courses and, engage in other activities. She has already gotten involved wonderfully with Palouse Prairie Charter School and will be soon at Moscow High School and perhaps other schools also, if she has the time. So, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, hello, good night, everyone. I'm so happy for being here, and I just want to say that you have a wonderful city with amazing people, and I'm more than happy for being and sharing with all of you. Thank you so much for your support, too.
Hooray.
Thanks for being here.
Do you have any questions?
All I was going to say is we are all still learning to perfect our English as well. So it is a lifelong journey.
To know that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Halen. Anybody else want to come up for public comment? Or do you want to reserve that for when we get to the...
Or perhaps.
So, or both. Okay, Good enough. Moving on. Citizens Commission Report, the Moscow Arts Commission, starring Megan Cherry and Aaron Johnson.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, members of council, and city staff. It's my honor to work with the Moscow Arts Commission. It's the oldest arts commission in the state of Idaho, which is pretty incredible. It's a wonderful tradition to be part of. And so we'll hear from the commission chair, Aaron Johnson, but we also will open this evening's report with a reading from Moscow Poet Laureate Stacy Bowe Miller.
Hooray.
I know her.
That's a new way to start a commission. I love it.
Well, this is my last year as Poet Laureate, and I just want to say I'm really grateful to all of you, to the council, mayor, staff, and the Arts Commission. As someone who's lived here in Moscow for 14 years, I can say that this is the kind of thing that makes people want to move to and stay in Moscow. So I'm grateful for this, and I'll be advocating for this program to continue. Last year, the chamber invited me to bring a typewriter during Art Walk and set up camp for about 3 hours in the in the chamber office. And people would come and tell me their stories for about 5 minutes. And then I would take about 15 minutes to write a poem about their lives. And I cried a little, and some citizens of Moscow cried a little. It turned out to be a really amazing connection. And so I want to read one of those poems tonight by someone who teaches preschool here in Moscow, Idaho. Digging irises at the center of everything. In the preschool where I work, little bodies line up to stare at a row of onions on the windowsill. Each new leaf a miracle, every sprout a possibility. Like a song that hasn't ended yet, or a seed you might think is a hard-sealed box, but inside a whole swirling world. Last week, I dug up 400 iris bulbs. I'm making way for the new. I handed them out to families at the preschool. I imagined flowers reaching their long arms up in yards all over town. I lie in bed and send my words through the night air to them. Don't be nervous, I say. Just do your best. And that's for Ashley, who teaches preschool here. Thank you so much. I've really appreciated this and appreciate all of you.
Thank you, Stacy.
Aw, don't be nervous. Do your best.
And now it's my pleasure to introduce Aaron Johnson. I wanted to tell you a little bit about him because he certainly won't say this for himself. So I wanted to brag about him a little bit. So Aaron was initially an Arts Commission member when he was a grad student at U of I. And I think it was 2009, 2010. Does that sound about right? In that time, he initiated our Palouse Plein Air event. As a plein air, he's sort of the resident plein air expert of the Palouse. And that's an event that continues to this day. Aaron now teaches painting at the university and is responsible for all kinds of wonderful things in this community, including this show that you see out here in the 3rd Street Gallery that would not be on the walls without his help and the help of some other Arts Commission members. And so he's just has a huge community impact, and we're lucky to have him as chair. So Aaron Johnson.
Welcome, Aaron.
Thanks. All right. Thank you. The Moscow Arts Commission might be the oldest, but I'd like to say it's not that old because we're the same age. So it's not that old of an Arts Commission. Let's see that one. All right. So here's our current members. We're currently looking for our high school liaison. I'm trying to convince my 17-year-old to do it. So we'll see if that works. Here are our numbers for volunteer hours. I believe that there are probably more than that just go unreported. When I look at the hours that are done, and I'm pretty sure we underreport on that. So we'll start with my favorite event because I love plein air. These are just some images from this year. This coming year is going to be our 15th year doing the event. It continually gets larger, and we have been lucky. Megan has helped make it really wonderful the past, since she's been here. We've been able to get nationally recognized plein air painters who are award-winning, nationally showing award-winning plein air painters to come and jury the show and give a presentation. We do that in collaboration with U of I. That's if you ever took an art class, that's the drawing room down there on the bottom left. With this last year's juror who came over from Seattle. It's a great event. I'm grateful that we get to have that here. It's good for students, for the community and the region, for just for getting people to come in and recognize the beauty of where we live. So that's again my favorite one. So we thought we'd start with that one. This is some of the shows that we have throughout the year. We meet as a committee, the 3rd Street Gallery Committee, and we aim to have shows that reach all varieties of folks. In our shows, we have the top 3rd Street Gallery portion are ones where we meet as a committee and we talk about, well, do we have one that is an invited show? We have some shows that are open to everybody. We have some that are juried. So we try to go through a variety of different experiences of art shows so that people on the Plus have that opportunity to participate in those wherever they may be in their artistic journey. We have here our big one is and Megan was bragging to me about this photo. It was her favorite photo, I guess. But we have when we look at our season host, since we've started the larger third Thursday, you can see that it continually gets bigger. And if you look on the monthly host locations for 23-24, we're already halfway, and we're only in February as compared to last year. So I think we'll have it looks like it's going to be a great year for arts on the Plus through Art Walk. We have we just heard from Stacy about with her poetry, so we're appreciative of that. And there's I believe that's a photo of is that the workshop you were talking about? That's
one of the workshops we did here at the chamber, and 17 people came on a Saturday morning. So great.
I love that.
Wonderful.
The other one's the poetry in the park series.
Okay. Great. Yeah. So enjoy having that opportunity to not just have the visual arts, but the written language and along with the other parts of the arts on the Art Commission. We have our vinyl wraps. We see those around town, and we get comments about people who always have their favorite one. Usually they tell us their favorite one when their time's up and it's time to change it, but that's all right. That one has as far as public arts go, that one's a lot of people participate in that one. A lot of people enter into that particular one. Our Storm Drain murals, that's the collaboration with Public Works, and you'll see these. I think just around, you probably all know where they are. So you see them, they're lovely. And then we have our portable collection. These are two of the purchases from this year. The one on the left, Ashley Strife, is a current student at the U of I. She's going to be graduating this year. And so that's her painting that was in the Palouse Plein Air show. And then Rose Graham, a longtime resident, Moscow, if we're ever at the U of I and had to get something printed at the print shop, you would have talked to Rose. So that's her painting that is now in the portable collection. And I believe that many folks benefit from that by having those in their offices or places in the public buildings. So these upcoming things, big one from our 20th season, a lot of big even numbers there, right? Like 20th and 15th, or I guess not even, but big numbers. 20th Art Walk, 15th annual Plus Plein Air. We have the Jackson Street and A Street mural that came up, the Mayor's Arts Awards, so are coming up, and then just our monthly, or not monthly, but our seasonally exhibitions at the gallery. So. Anybody have any questions? This is one of my students, Sydney. She works at the bagel shop. So if you see her there at the bagel shop, she's a fantastic painter. And this is her at one of the Plus Plein Air juried. The juror was giving a demo, and she was enjoying it.
My only question is, our 20th Art Walk summer finale on the third Thursday also, or is it on a Friday? I can't remember. the Thursday. So June 20th is my save the date right now. Okay, groovy. I love it. Art Walk finale.
Other questions?
I have one.
Please.
What challenges, if there are any challenges that are coming up that you're foreseeing or that you keep on running into?
Well, depends on what you call it. Well, some of the challenges that we have are
No funding's always going to be one.
no. Challenges. There's the challenge of helping people use the submittable portion. That's a challenge for folks, and happily Megan gets to help people with that as they come into her office. I think we're doing pretty good. Do you have any challenges you can think of? More people to the, we always want more people. It's not necessarily challenged, but we do, we want more people to see the work. So just making sure that we get that out there and get people coming and participating in our Art Walk events.
Thank you.
Thanks, Drew.
Okay,
right.
thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Megan. Okay, next up is the Associated Students of the University of Idaho Council Liaison Request. Gina Teruscio, introduce, please.
Good evening, everybody. On the first meeting of the year, the council sits down and we go through the expansive list of duties for all of the council members. Some of the new ones get thrown into the deep end like we did to Bryce this year, but it's always a fun moment of getting to kind of take on new stuff in the year and that sort of thing. So, and it's another way that we get to serve the community. So we had our meeting, and at the time we had some interest, and we were talking about some liaison requests or a liaison request from the Associated Students at the U of I wanting to have some city council interactions. Okay. And so we talked about it. We didn't have anything formal. And then Tanner McLean brought the letter and the formality. So the structure, you want to
Who's Tanner
talk
McLean?
structure. He is the
I
president of
know,
the
I want you to
ASUI.
announce it.
I'm gonna
Okay.
announce it when he stands up here. But will you talk structure or do you want me to talk structure? Okay, so the proposal before us that Tanner sent in, who is the president of the ASUI, by the way, and you'll get to see him in a minute, he's real, is that the liaison would be able to attend Senate meetings, ASUI Senate meetings once a month. They would work with the ASUI, you really need to work on that, ASUI, that's a lot. Director of Community and Civic, good Lord. Director of Community and Civic Involvement, who is Addison Pennington, by the way, that they would be able to work on the town and gown soiree events that we have twice a year. And that's cool because those are good events, but making it more impactful and maybe some dancing or singing would be super fun, Tanner.
Oh my goodness.
Art signing up.
Karaoke?
Karaoke. There you go. See, this is the kind of energy we want in this moment. They would again attend a pre-session once a semester at the kind of the beginning of the semesters with the ASUI students to discuss council updates, kind of what each body is working on, which I think is hugely valuable. And then assist in planning the ASUI and city projects or collaborate on existing events alongside Tanner and Addison. So without further ado and no more of this, Tanner McLean, president of the ASUI, please take the podium.
All right. Well, good evening, council members and audience. Pleasure to be here tonight. My name is Tanner McLean, address 1415 South Almond Street. And I'm a current student at the U of I. I'm a senior, and I'm also as Gina mentioned, the president of ASUI, or the Associated Students of the University of Idaho. Last semester, I re-envisioned a new position in ASUI titled the Director of Community and Civic Involvement, aimed to help establish a more formal relationship between the city of Moscow and the student body. With this position, we found ourselves being more and more involved. We, in the past, have always done town and gowns once a semester, the first being hosted here at the City Hall and the second being on campus. And often there's great conversations about things that matter to students, such as transportation, housing, mental health. The list goes on. But oftentimes after we meet, it's hard to continue action when there's not as much communication going between the student body and city council members. So, I wrote this letter hoping to establish a liaison who could come once a month and learn more about the student body and what we're doing here on campus, as well as, we want to return the favor as well and have the Director of Community and Civic Involvement come attend city council meetings as well. And another part of it would be going to a pre-session meeting once a semester. I know we've had Mayor Becky attend one of these meetings, which was very productive. We got to learn more about the city, and I believe the mayor also got to learn more about the student body. And so, with this position, really aiming to, form that relationship more, and hopefully also work on events together as well. I know one thing that's coming up later this month is an event the ASUI is working on called the ASUI Winter Social, and we're actually inviting Moscow Farmers Market vendors to come to this event. It covers the entire ISA building, the Student Union building, and we just invited just today, I believe, the vendors to come to this event, and so we can continue other events like that, and also prevent any overlap for city university events as well. By having a council member come to a meeting once a month, we'll be able to, identify any kind of, such as Winterfest or student events that might be overlapping and competing with each other. And so I urge you all to vote in favor of this motion tonight. Just want to thank you all again. And actually, one last thing as well, I'd love for this to be a position that everyone on this council would have the opportunity to fulfill. I think it'd be really great to have everybody come learn more about students. I know there's a lot of friendly and familiar faces here tonight. I know a lot of you interact with students regularly, and so I think that having someone come in, new, would be really great for them to learn more about us, as well as return the favor the other way. And so with that, I just urge you all to vote in favor of this motion, and I'll stand for any further questions.
Good question. So do you envision, or maybe we can talk to the council too about what they envision, is that it would be a rotating position? So 1 month Bryce would go, 1 month I would go, 1 month it would be Gina, or would you envision it being like a commission where, say I'm on the Arts Commission, I go to the Arts Commission every month for a year, and then I'm the one that reports back?
Yeah, I think yearly might be more productive. In my opinion, having a different person each month, could be beneficial for having everyone be more well informed on the student body. But for the sake of being productive and creating real action, I think a yearly position might be more beneficial to be in that role.
I've more so got a comment than a question. Thanks for bringing this to our attention, by the way, and seeking out this potential position. One thing that I do think is exciting about this is to improve that communication from the city to the U of I and the ASUI in particular. And as I tell my students over at U of I often, I'm like, get to know the town you live in, right? Because I think that it's really easy for students to move to Moscow, kind of get isolated up on campus and not really get the full Moscow experience, whatever that might mean to them and for them. And so I'm in favor of trying to, better that communication and better that enthusiasm for both U of I and the city. So just wanted to say thanks for bringing this to our attention.
Thank you, Councilmember Blankenship. Welcome. And, and just to further that, this past fall, we held forums for the city council elections, which I think were really great, and got more students educated on the city. Part of being at university is the educational experience. And I think that this would be a really great thing for us students to learn more about how the city operates. And I think, vice versa as well, that you all may be able to learn a thing or two about, us students. And so I'm, looking forward to your guys' vote tonight and the outcome.
Really?
The only thing I was going to add to that's one, I was happy to see the legislative field trip come back, and because there was a hot second where that wasn't a thing at ASUI. I participated when I was a student, loved that. So thank you for all you're doing to get students interested and engaged in bigger than just campus conversations. That means a lot. And the other thing I was going to just huge kudos for making this easy for us. This came about in our first workshop of the year, and there was a moment where we said we want to make sure that we're not the helicopter parents trying to insert ourselves into a conversation that the students don't want us to be interested in. So thank you for outlining very clearly for us what you're looking for, because we are more than happy to make sure it's an open two-way road of communication.
And unless any of you are currently undergraduate students, full-time students at the U of I with above a 3.0, then this won't be a formal position on ASUI. I won't be able to have any voting power or anything of that. So, but thanks for bringing that up. That's something that I think we need to remind ourselves on, as we create this liaison, that it's a partnership and a way to communicate together rather than having any kind of I don't have a seat on this body, nor would, the liaison have a seat on our body. So, yeah.
Sandra?
I'm really fortunate because I get to work with Tanner every day,
Yeah.
which is great. One of my jobs is Department of Student Involvement, which is sort of a host of ASUI, and they're really great people and they're really diverse. And so I'm excited for the folks to get to know the diversity of even just our student government. They're a really scary, smart, funny, little wacko, not gonna lie.
I'm well aware. of
Little
that.
wacko group of people. And I love that this is happening. Yeah, I know. Same here. Absolutely. Pot kettle, right? But I think it's important. I love doing this. And I'm also really excited to hopefully, carry this on throughout the years and see how it evolves and changes, because there are a lot of great things that we do on campus, right? And it's hard when you come back and people here don't know about it. So I think this will be a really great way to help us blend and just help one another and help our town. Our town needs to know our students more. Our students need to know us more. So thanks for being open to this, and thanks for the Senate for being open to this too.
I really appreciate that, Councilmember Kelly, and also want to recognize all the tremendous work you do in the Department of Student Involvement.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, for my part, the students represent pretty close to a third of our population. And in the past, we've gone forth and tried to receive the mental waves coming from campus and do the best we could. But anything we can do to facilitate greater concrete communication between the city and the students is a welcome thing, so that we know that we're on the right path and that the students can understand what path we're taking and why. So facilitating communication was the whole point of the town gown thing, and I'm glad to see that it's getting traction and moving forward beyond just that.
Yeah, thank you for that, Mayor Becky. And just as you said, the town and gown is really great, and I think that that will be initial start for us to have a conversation. This will further that. So, yeah.
So I think for me, and I'm selfish in this game, I think it's a great way to recruit future leaders. If you can see that this is a doable thing in a place that you love, and if it's Moscow, great. But wherever you end up in the long run, if we can somehow convince you to get involved in your community or anything like that, I think that's a good thing. And that's maybe a side part of what we can accomplish with this liaison position. But for me, it's a little selfish.
Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
Can we make a motion to approve this? Is that allowed?
And take action as
I just want to
deemed
make
necessary.
sure, right? It's been a weird day.
Let me, if
Oh,
you,
sorry.
if you will,
Yeah.
before we do that. So I'm hearing that we're all pretty much comfortable with this as a liaison. It is an annual position. Okay, and it's an ex officio one.
And-
Similar to the council or the commission liaisons we have.
And
This is-
my only ask would be, just as we do with any other council situation, where if you can't make a meeting,
Yeah, you get
we
somebody
make
to
sure
cover
that
for
we
you.
have someone else there physically present.
Mr. Belknap, is there anything else we need to do?
Just identify who would be the first liaison.
Well, yeah,
I don't know
Be an
that we
arm
need to do
wrestling
that
tournament,
yet.
I think.
yeah, we're going to have to take a moment and wrestle.
What, sorry, when are your meetings?
They're every Wednesday at 7 p.m. in the Idaho Union Building in the Clearwater Room.
Is there a day, one of those Wednesdays you would rather have us there?
You want us there every week?
Oh gosh, I mean, really, we meet every Wednesday besides the first week of school and the last week of school each semester. And honestly, I know you all are have very busy schedules, and so whatever would be most convenient throughout the whole month for all of you. But 7 p.m. every Wednesday.
And maybe it depends on who we're looking at. Some of those second Wednesdays and third Wednesdays are kind of
meeting.
So be aware of that,
Mhm.
counselors, like you weren't going to do that anyway, right? I had to be your mom. Okay, so Sandra, if you want to do it, I wanted to set some boundaries.
Then I would move that we create a dedicated council liaison position to work alongside ASUI to continue and strengthen the partnership and communication between the two entities.
Second.
Second.
Further discussion? Okay. Bryce,
Aye.
Julia,
Aye.
Sandra,
Aye.
did I skip Gina?
You skipped me.
I'm just mixing it up.
Where's your
Gina,
note card?
I,
Drew,
Aye.
Haley,
Aye.
thank you. Okay, you got a
Okay.
liaison.
Awesome. Thank you all, and
Tanner.
go Vandals.
All
See
right,
you, see you in class
council.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Council, how are we going to handle this? Do you want to do a
Who's
secret
interested?
ballot? Yeah, who's interested?
I'm interested.
I mean, we're all
I
interested.
think we're all.
I think we're all interested.
I like the idea of having somebody that's not an employee at U of I do
Yeah, I
it.
think that's fair.
I'd give you that. Yeah.
Okay, so that cuts it down to the three over there and Julia.
I'm
No, Drew also
Who's
is,
also,
Bruce there.
Are you?
takes Bryce and myself and Drew out.
yeah, adjunct faculty.
All right, so Haley or Julia?
I mean, Wednesdays. Do we have the coin? Does Lori have the fancy coin? Wait, I have a 50-cent piece. Can we?
Do we
flip
need to
heads or
do, we
tails?
could do a
I
secret
really,
ballot.
I could go either way, Julia.
Lori loves the
you
flipping the
take
coin.
it.
I know she
I do
loves
it. I'll do it.
All right.
I mean,
If you're hungry for it, go for
My
it.
third thing is CETA, and that's just one.
Oh yeah.
order,
You
so-
take it. Julia takes it first year. Yes.
All right,
And
excellent.
then share back with us what you learn each month.
And definitely, like Haley
So well
said,
done.
earlier, if there is coverage needed, be certain,
throw
like
the
we
bat
do with
signal, yeah.
everything, that we do
I
that.
will.
All right, congratulations, Ms. Julia.
Hey, Julia.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
and now everybody out there, you see how this really goes up here. This is your government at work.
It is not like that all the time.
Okay, that takes us to the end of our regular agenda. So on to city council reports. All right, we'll start with you.
Sure.
Ms.
All right,
Stryker.
that's fair. I feel like it's been a while since we've met, and so I apologize if I've missed something, but it's been a really fun month so far. In no particular date order, one of the best things I got to do was right before we went to Boise, which was an interesting thing we did. But the night before we went to Boise, I got to give a group of Boy Scouts a tour of City Hall. And so we spent an hour here. We wandered the hallways. I think I locked all the doors and turned off all the lights. I tried really hard to do that. And it was a great night. It was really fun working with the Scouts and talking with them. They had some good questions, and they were kind of in awe of the building. So that's a really nice, fun thing we get to do. Had a really great, Winter Market last weekend in the 1912 Center. Really fun. And then right after that was Winter Fest, which was, if you were there, it was cold, but it wasn't very wet. And I was happy to find out that two of the folks at the very end that I talked to on my way out had actually sold out of food. So I was worried it might not be a great event because it was pretty darn chilly as it got closer to the evening, and they ended up doing well. Earlier that day was Winter Market at the 1912 Center, and it was a nice, big, fun event there. Saw a lot of old folks that we knew, and they send their regards to the council, the ones I talked to.
That.
We had our alternative, Association of Idaho Cities meetings in Boise, January 24th through the 25th. And we met. We had the MLK Day breakfast, which was a fun event. First time it was held in the 1912 Center and not at the middle school. And there's debate about how that should keep going, but my vote was to keep it there. It was nice. It felt a little intimate, and it was a wonderful time to get together with folks and not be all spread out. We had a good art walk. That was way back. I want to say on the 18th, a nice art walk event. And our Arts Council left right before I said the art walk part. And then we had one of the most exciting things I've been able to do is serve on the development committee for the 1912 Center. And we were like a hot minute away from picking our architect for that third floor. We had one meeting where we had all the forums and kind of made an order of who we wanted to talk to, narrowed it down to a couple. And then last week we heard from both groups. They made presentations, and now it's headed to the 1912 board, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I've been involved with the 1912 Center for a long time, and so to see that third floor get some love and work and building on it. I'm all a quiver. Can't wait. So I'm sure I missed something there, but it's been a really good month. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay, I'm going to go from the longest ago to the most exciting, which of course is the tree commission, right? All right, I sat in on, it felt like coming home again. I was back in the Pollution Space and Aquifer Committee meeting, and I got to tell you, it's awesome. We even have a woman who was a Pullman City Councilor, ran for mayor, didn't get elected, and still wants to stay on PBAC. She's that passionate about it, and it is so good to be in a group of people like that again. Moving forward, there is they're working on choosing consultants for working on Tyler, help me. The kind of the communication of it all. Is that?
We're putting together a request for proposals for.
Yes, please come up, Tyler. Tyler's the chair of the Pollution Space and Aquifer Committee. Tyler Palmer.
We're working on getting a request for proposals together so that we can move forward with preliminary design on alternative number one. We're looking to get to the level of design necessary to start putting it out with some of our regulatory agencies so we can start answering some hard questions.
It's like a schematic design.
Yeah, that's what they're going to help us with the RFP. We had some meetings with both DOE and IDWR, that Division of Water Resources and Department of Ecology, which are the two state entities responsible in the respective states for water supply. And they've both committed to helping with the drafting of the RFP, so we make sure that we answer the questions that they will need to answer in order to move to that next phase.
That's good.
Could not have said that better myself. There is a research colloquium in the making that old young Paul Kimmel is going to get involved with. Working on website, talking about getting the stakeholder engagement group kind of reinvigorated. They all at Twitter like Sandra was a couple minutes ago. All four major partners have signed back on for the continuation of PBAC, and that's huge. Let's see. Get this. And I know what most of these words mean, so I'm pretty excited. They're going to add a turbidity and flow monitor on the South Fork of the Palouse River. Yeah, it's cool. Okay. The Fair and Affordable Housing Commission, in the efficiency and economy that is that group, have decided that they don't have enough agenda items to meet in February, so we're waiting until March. I think that's beautiful. They are working on some of their upcoming events happening like in April and that kind of thing, but I really appreciate not having meetings for meetings' sake. And yes, I got to go back to the Boise thing. You guys all got to go to Boise and I had to stay here. Yes. So that kind of is not so terrible because I started a new, you stayed?
He had a worse reason though.
Oh yeah, you were, okay.
He couldn't breathe.
He was dying. I was here just playing around. But I started this new job, right? And about a 10-minute walk from my new job is a sequoia tree.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were going to say me, but okay.
Sandra is too, but you go a different direction. But this sequoia tree is the coolest thing. And if anybody wants a field trip, come to the admin building and I'll show you where the sequoia tree is. Similar to one of our heritage trees, right? From the tree commission. The tree commission meets tomorrow evening. I might not be able to sleep all night. That's all I know.
Before or after?
After.
Okay. Drew.
I've been a little under the weather, to say the least. And so a couple of things that I can report on since I wasn't at the last council meeting. Was able to make it to Parks and Rec. We've had two really good discussions, but one that came out that I think is positive that they're going to be working towards with city staff is we're going to be having basically utilization rates of different ways of how Parks and Rec is working. And so that's something that the commission is talking about, from building to different sporting events. And I think that's important for people to know. How that's going to happen, there's a whole bunch of details, but I think that's something really important. And there's a really good topic that came out of it from some of our new people on that, some of our new commissioners. With that, I have not been to anything else because I have been sick. But one thing I do want to say that I'm looking forward to this month is we're going to, Mira is going to be meeting, and there's definitely topics that need to be visited, and correct history needs to be outlined for that. So I'm looking forward for that discussion. So.
Julia,
Like many of you, I went to the Association of Idaho Cities in Boise, and the best parts are usually the parts where we get to just talk to each other. So we got to do some council mayoral staff bonding, and also got to meet with Representatives Mitchell and McCann, which is always nice.
Unfortunate Foreman can't seem to make it. But.
Yeah.
Committee meeting.
Let's just leave that
Senator
there.
Foreman didn't make it to any of our meetings, but so I have Farmers Market Commission tomorrow, which is my first farmers market meeting, and it's pretty exciting. I went to the Idaho-Washington Democratic Women Luncheon today, and if you don't know, I announced my candidacy for Idaho State Senate. So that's not really a city thing, but it's definitely something that was important, and council's been a great launching point for that campaign. That's all I got.
Haley,
It's pretty light. End of January. I met with Smart Transit, and we were able to have Elisa Anderson from the city in person. She's got a lot of tribal knowledge as far as ITD grant mechanics, and so she joins from Zoom virtually when she can. But we had her in the room, so we had a lot of good questions and answers to questions that we had been pondering for a while. So Smart Transit, things are still looking good. One thing that even in terms of this liaison development, I'm excited about, Smart Transit tabled at Palooza Fest for the first time, and I don't remember how many years. And I'm just thinking in terms of that, and even having MPD there, or just what we can do to make sure that our students know what our city resources are. So, and we've got our Rockstar Transportation student, Mr. Desheet, who attends. So life's been good in the transportation world. Boise was there. Art and I are enjoying our Friday morning 1 to 2 to 3 hour phone calls discussing legislation for cities. And it's been interesting watching the legislation that's proposed, because they are things that, as we debate the proper role of government, what makes sense for us to articulate what the impact to cities are, because inevitably it's all connected. So
I was waiting to hear how you phrased that.
was that diplomatic enough? Okay, groovy, love it. And then, yep, it's the first. My meetings are always first end of the month heavy load. So that's all I got.
Cool. Bryce.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to go 4 things, all kind of in chronological order of what happened first to present. So first, I also attended Boise, and being a new city councilor, it was exciting to be down there and be kind of in the mix of meeting some reps, and also getting to be and have face-to-face time with folks, and also get to know my colleagues a little bit more. So I very much value that experience. And the mayor and I were lucky enough to sit in on a meeting with 2 representatives from the governor's office, and so I mainly observed, added a couple of little inputs here and there, but mainly it was just
Ancient comments.
thank you. But yeah, and it was and it felt really important and really meaningful to be able to be in that space and advocate for the city. So I look forward to kind of continuing in those spaces. So Boise was very meaningful. Second thing, I volunteered to just out of sheer interest. I went to the Pullman-Moscow Airport Board meeting last week, just to kind of sit in and hear what's going on as their project continues to ramp up. It's a mild pun plane, actually, like you got the ramp, right? So, thank you. But yeah, just kind of hear about that project, and with the new terminal set to open within the year, and having the runway be expanded in a few months in May. Yeah, and so it's exciting just to hear all the chatter, and it seemed like a lot of work still needs to be done, but it seems that there's some really, really great people that are making that work happen, which was exciting to listen to. And then I was actually invited to go to the USA Dry Pea and Lentil Council dinner at Lodgepole this past Friday night. And I was a representative from City Council here, and then the mayor from Pullman also joined. So we had both communities represented. And it was great just to talk with farmers, both in the area, but also talk about what the commission is, or what the council is doing, what the Lentil Council is doing. And it's World Pulses Day on February 10th. So put that on your calendar. Eat a garbanzo bean on the 10th. But it was,
Not this one.
What's that?
Not this one.
yeah, not
This pulse?
that
Got it.
pulse.
Got it. Okay.
But it was really nice to be there. And it's really, I think one thing that makes so much of this region really exciting is that cross collaboration with both kind of Pullman, Moscow, Whitman, Latah, and both states, and just kind of seeing that come together and hear people's stories and hear what people are looking for. And also the fact that these pulses, again, not this one, but it really does put this region on the global map, which is a really kind of exciting thing. And there's actually a couple of people from the Dry Pea and Lentil Council in Washington, D.C. right now lobbying for this region. So it was exciting to be there and be part of that. And then lastly, I went to Winterfest on Saturday and it was very fun.
Nice.
Community showed up, good people, good energy. It was chilly, but it was worth it.
Love it.
So
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, for my part, I meet with Scott Green regularly on issues of interface between the city and the university administratively and physically, both. And so nice productive discussions there, putting ideas in each other's heads for better or for worse. Worked with the Chamber Legislative Action Committee a couple of times since the last reports, and they're always keeping an eye out on legislation that impinges on commerce within the city of Moscow. Always interesting to hear. Made a bit of an introductory set of remarks at the Martin Luther King Jr. Day breakfast that Sandra was talking about. Always an interesting affair that is, and I hope they leave it at the 1912. It was nice. Of course, Boise AIC meeting, working with the legislature as best we can to tread water on that lot. The airport board met, as Bryce indicated, completion sometime in mid-May. We're working our way through it. The terminal has 80 to 100 people a day working on it. So progress is moving along nicely. They got the lights on, the HVAC is coming on, and so it's coming to a conclusion pretty quickly. And then today was the Idaho Department of Transportation Traffic and Multimodal discussion about looking far into the future about what to do about traffic in downtown Moscow, how it interfaces with bicycles, with pedestrians. Generally, what do you do when you've got two state highways that meet each other in the middle of town? And with traffic growing, large loads, things like that, what do you do going forward? So there was a lot of suggestions via little dots on whiteboards and things like that. So ITD got a slug of data and are now off looking at that, and they'll be back with some conclusions in the next probably couple of months as they proceed forward with open it up for the whole community to join in and weigh in with their opinions. So that's what I've been up to. Got anything over there, staff?
Nothing from staff this evening.
Do I hear a
I move we
motion?
adjourn.
Oh, good job.
Second.
Good. All in favor?
Second.
Aye. And we're adjourned.